Good morning. I was really hoping that would work because I've never used a mic like this. Good morning. I am so excited to be up here, talking to you guys. I'm Caitlin Norton, for those of you who don't know me. I've been going to Vintage since it started. I moved to Hickory to work for Vintage City, so this church has been a big part of my journey, and I'm so excited to get a chance to share with you about YoungLives and the ministry of YoungLives here in Catawba County. You saw a little clip on the video of what the ministry of YoungLives is all about. The heart is walking alongside teen moms, sharing the gospel, and walking with them as they develop a faith with Jesus Christ. And we have some really special guests here this morning that I'm going to introduce to you in a minute, and we're going to get a chance to hear their story and just how the gospel has impacted them, how mentorship and YoungLives has impacted Kelly and Ricky and Amaya and just their lives and their journey. So before we dive into their story, I want to thank you guys. As a church, Vintage City has already committed to support YoungLives in Hickory, which is huge because the more community support we have, the more moms we can reach, and the more we can spread the gospel. So thank you. From the beginning of Vintage City, the heart of this church has always been the community. It's always been serving. That's really the heartbeat of who Vintage is. We've always been a church that hasn't been afraid to reach the furthest out person, the overlooked, the lost, the forgotten, and that is what we do in YoungLives. We go after that furthest out kid that nobody else might want to talk to, the kid that sits by themselves at lunchroom, the kid that just doesn't know where they belong, and we walk into their life, into the mess and into the confusion and say, hey, you belong here. Like, there's a place, there's a person, there's a God who loves you, and you belong, and you are loved, and you matter, and we see you. And as you heard in the video, teen moms a lot of the times are just the most overlooked, forgotten, ignored, and we want them to know that, hey, we see you, we love you, Jesus loves you. Your life has purpose. Your child's life has purpose. You are made for a reason. And they are living proof of that. And their story is exciting and beautiful, and I can't wait for you to hear it. So just thank you. Thank you for loving kids. Thank you for being the heart of Jesus. Thank you for loving this city. I'm really excited for what we're going to get to do together and how you're going to support YoungLives and me in this new ministry. So I do want to pray, and then I'm going to introduce them, and we'll get into their story. Dear God, thank you so much for Vintage City. Thank you for Jesus. Thank you for your heart for people that we don't always see. God, you see them. You love them. You made them. You created them. Every mom, every child, every father you know. And you breathe life into them, and they have purpose, and our heart is for them to know that, for them to know you, for them to hear the gospel, for them to walk with you, and to have people to come alongside them and walk with them. And so I just pray this morning that Vintage City Church would hear your heart, they would hear that you are faithful, that you are good, that your plans are bigger and better than we could ever imagine. And God, that you would just touch each heart here. God, would you speak to them? Holy Spirit, we invite you into this conversation. Would you just be made known through Kelly, Ricky, and Amaya and my story? And would you just be glorified by what we're doing? Would it not be me that gets the glory, or Kelly, or YoungLife, or the ministry of YoungLives, but would it be Jesus at the end of the day? God, we are here because of you. We're here for you. We love you. Thank you for their story, and just thank you for this chance to just know you more and love you more. In your name we pray. Amen. Okay, so we have some incredible people on stage. I'm so excited for you guys to get. Actually, some of you probably already know them, which is really, really cool. If you've been at Vintage for a while, you've probably seen Kelly. You probably saw Maya as a baby. I can't see the screen, but there might be something up there that is pictures. Is it? Yes. Okay, great. So Kelly, like there's a picture of her up there pregnant with a Vintage City shirt on. Kelly has walked her journey like with Vintage for a while. She was baptized when we were in the theater. She, Amaya brought Amaya up on stage during a baby dedication Sunday and dedicated her. So if you've been around for a while, you've probably seen Kelly and Amaya, and it's just really cool to see how the Lord has used their story. Amaya just turned 5. Kelly's gonna be 20. It's just wild. And this is Ricky, Amaya's father. And I just wanted you guys to see a picture of them together before we start talking, because it really is a beautiful picture of God's grace. They've been parenting Amaya together for 5 years, and that's incredible. And it's not always easy, but they're doing it, and it's beautiful. And Amaya's grown up in a great community, and so yeah, that's them, their family. So I wanted you guys to get to see all of them. We're going to stay up here and talk to Kelly and Ricky for a little bit. Amaya, you can go play. Y'all can talk to her after. She's super fun. See if she finds her way. All right. So while Kelly's doing that, I'll kind of give you a brief introduction of Kelly. So I met her when she was 12 in 7th grade. Outside of YoungLives, not related to the ministry of YoungLives or YoungLives, just living life. I was teaching and just got to know her through some of the students I was teaching. And so we met when she was 12 in 7th grade and just kind of started mentoring her and living life together and just walking alongside of her. And Kelly got pregnant when she was 13 in 8th grade. And we were already developing a relationship and a friendship, and so we just really walked that journey together. And so my hope for this interview, and as she shares her story, my hope is that you guys hear the power of not only the gospel and Jesus, but the power of mentorship. Not that there's anything particularly unique and special about me, just a willingness to say yes and to step into hard things and to be consistent in her life and to keep showing up. But I just pray that, I really want you to hear the power of building relationships, having a mentor. That is the heartbeat of YoungLives. That is what makes the ministry so special, is that we want each girl to have a mentor, someone to walk alongside them. So I hope that you hear just the power of relationship and loving somebody well through a lot of things as we share. So I want Kelly and Ricky's going to kind of chime in here and there too and share a little bit of his experience. But I just want you to share what is your experience as a teen mom like? What has it been like?
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm kind of nervous, but it's been good, but hard at the same time because me being 13, raising a newborn. I mean, even though I had support, it was still hard on my end because I was young and then still going to school. And then, I had people doubting me of, oh, you're not going to do this. You can't be a good mom. But, it's been, for now, it's like, it's good. I'm sorry, I'm nervous, but.
You're doing great. You're doing great. Do you want to chime in and kind of what was your experience like as a young father? Did they need to put the mic closer up?
Well, as a young father,
closer to
as a young father, I am not gonna lie. I was nervous. I was real nervous. I was scared. I ain't gonna lie, cause I never had a baby before. But it was hard, but it's got easier so long down the road. So I am grateful, for my support.
I do want to say I am proud of Ricky because Ricky did grow up without a father and he stepped in to take care of a newborn child.
Yeah. They really have. They're doing the hard work. They really are. It's really cool to see. How do you feel teen moms are viewed by the community? Like when you were in, walking the halls in school or even in churches, within your family, neighborhood, like how does the community view teen moms?
When I was pregnant, people viewed me as, oh, she's fast, oh, her mom didn't raise her right, or she just want to do what she want to do. That was not the case. My mom raised me very right. I just didn't want to go in the direction she wanted me to go into. I wanted to do my own thing, and then you see what happened when I did my own thing. But we just get overviewed as us being fast or our parents didn't raise us right, or we're, the H words or whatever, but that's really not the case. Like, some people don't listen to their parents, and that was me. I didn't listen to my mom. She would tell me, "Oh, Kelly, don't do this," and I end up going doing it. So yeah, I feel like we're just overviewed as we're too fast and stuff.
So how do you want people to know? Like, what do you want people to know about teen moms? Like, you know, instead of being viewed in the stereotypical way, what are teen moms like?
I want people to know that us teen moms, we're humans too. Just cause like we're 13 having babies, that don't mean like we're a bad person. We're just, we're still human at the end of the day. We
Mm-hmm.
just like everybody else that has babies, just we're just younger in that generation. But
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like we should be viewed as humans as everybody else is viewed as humans.
Yeah, I think that's huge, and that's one thing that I like. When you rub shoulders with somebody who's in a different life situation as you see their humanity outside of stereotypes, outside of what the community says, outside of what the world says. You hear their story, and that's just, again, my hope for everybody in this room is whether it's a teen mom or someone, your neighbor, grocery store, or whoever, like, hear people's stories because it makes a world of a difference. And they're individuals with hobbies and interests, and just like teenagers out there that want to have fun and hang out and go to movies, and it's not as scary as sometimes the world makes it seem. But I just think that's important to remember that human beings with a story. What do you think are some specific challenges that maybe teen moms face from your perspective? Maybe different than having a child at an older age or something like that. What are specific challenges for teen moms or dads?
Can I answer both?
Yeah.
Okay. For teen moms and dads, I just really think that it's like people be jealous sometimes. You'll lose friends.
Mm.
Some people will look at you real different, like they're, and then I don't know, you really lose a lot of people. Like, so with that being said, you just can't let that stop you from doing what you were doing. So you just gotta take control, take responsibilities, take action, and make sure that you do what you gotta do for your child.
So you think that if you're losing a lot of friends, like you would say that support is a challenge?
Yes.
Like that support is needed. Again, coming alongside young parents is huge. What do you think, Kelly? Any other specific challenges that teen moms face?
I would say the same thing what Ricky was saying. Like, yeah, you lose, like, I done lost a lot of friends because of me being pregnant, but they end up being pregnant. And I'm sitting here like, but yeah, like, you just lose people because, like, oh, you can't hang out anymore. I can't hang out with my child. Like, I'm bringing my child, but yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything else you want to share about your experience specifically, or just what that was like for you walking through that and still parenting?
I mean, still to this day, it's hard because, 5-year-olds don't listen. They don't. They really don't. They're picky sometimes at stuff, but through the years, I could say it's been hard because you know how people was looking at me like, oh, she's 13 and she's pregnant. Even family looked at me the wrong way just because I was pregnant at a young age. But at the same time, I didn't let that stop me because I knew it was something to be done. I knew, I'm finna have this baby. I'm finna do me. I'm finna take care of my kid. I'm finna show everybody else that I can do it.
Well, I'm going to ask her a couple questions about mentorship, just the importance of having a mentor. We're going to share a little bit about our story specifically. But I do want to, before we do that, I want to highlight their bravery and their perseverance. It really is inspiring to have watched them continue to choose Amaya and choose parenting every day, and just continue to walk this journey and persevere. It's been really encouraging. So, specifically, I'm using the word mentorship because that is the word we use in YoungLives, mentors, but that's not like when I first met Kelly, we were just becoming friends as an adult mentor, but it's not like I walked around and was like, "This is Kelly and I'm her mentor." But I'm using that word because it's the word we're using in Young Lives. But what has our friendship, mentorship meant to you?
It means a lot to me because me being younger and the friends I had, they didn't want to do the stuff Kate wanted to do. They wanted to do the grown folk stuff. And I was with it. Me being young and dumb, I was with it. But till I met Caitlin, she it's like she gave me a reason to calm down. She gave me a reason to I don't know how to explain it, but
What would you say are some benefits to having a mentor, or just some life experiences you've shared?
it's like you have somebody there. When you feel alone and you have a mentor, you're not alone because you have that person that you can just sit down with and talk to, and then they won't judge you for whatever you're going through. It's just one thing about it, a mentor won't judge you. They sit down and listen to you to whatever you have to say, whatever problems you're going through, or whatever stuff you're doing. It's just at the end of the day, they don't judge you. And that's what I like about having Caitlin as my mentor. Well, not even a mentor. She's basically like my second mom.
Yeah, I mean, I'm using that word, but like Kelly, Ricky, and Amaya are family. Amaya's my goddaughter, which is a huge honor. Like, we have lived a lot of lives together. And again, it's been over 7 years, but I mean, we've done holidays together, birthdays. They know my parents. Amaya calls my mom and dad grandma and grandpa. They've come to Georgia with me. We've gone through job changes, sicknesses. Kelly has walked through me becoming a foster parent, and has been there for Jordana, who is my daughter through foster care. And it's more than just, hey, let's sit down and talk for once a week. It's living life with people, and that's the beauty. Is I've learned so much from them, and we've shared so much, and they've taught me more about probably what it looks like to love like Jesus than any church service I've ever been to, and I've grown up in church. I know the heart of Jesus and the gospel more because of living life with Kelly and Ricky and Maya than probably I've learned anywhere else. So what would you say are some, you kind of just answered it, someone who's not judgmental, someone who listens, like what would you say are some of the most important characteristics in a mentor? Like what would you look for in a mentor? What is it about me that made you stick around? Like Kelly and I talked about this a lot. I mean, there's plenty of opportunities where both of us could have said like, that's enough, I'm good. It's hard. Like, we have walked through a lot, and she's really brave to stick with me. And I'm like, what is it? What characteristics or personality traits make a mentor a good mentor?
I don't know. It's like no matter what you go through with that person, they always just stick around you. Like me and Caitlin, we done had our arguments. I done said some hurtful stuff to Caitlin, but it's like she didn't care about that. She still was like, I'm still gonna love you. Like no matter what you say, I'm still gonna love you. I'm still gonna be here. I'm not going nowhere. That's what I like about Caitlin, because other people, they'll just give up on you and walk out your life like it's nothing. And I done had that happen to me before. So I really thank Caitlin because she never gave up on me, even me becoming the person I am. She never gave up on me.
And that's the gospel. Like, that is not to say that I I fail a lot. That is Jesus. And again, that is what this ministry is showing somebody like, hey, Jesus doesn't walk out on you. He loves you unconditionally regardless, and he keeps showing up no matter what we say and do. How many times I say, Jesus, I don't have time for this, or I'm turning my back on him. Like, he loves us. And I want you guys to hear that, like, you don't have to have a fancy house for these girls to come over and hang out at. You don't have to have the best car. You don't have to make a lot of money. You don't have to know the TikTok dances and wear cool outfits and be up on all the teenage trends. Like, you just have to show up and be consistent and be someone who's willing to listen, like, and know that at the end of the day, Jesus is enough. So, how do you think your experience as a teen mom might have been different without my support? Without us kind of doing this together, how could it look different?
I feel like, I still would have Amaya, but it would be more of a struggle since, if Kaylin wasn't here, I wouldn't have that, support for someone to keep going, don't give up, keep going. Caitlin and Ricky is the only person that really pushes me to be the best mom I can be.
Ricky, what do you think? I mean, I'm obviously not like a one-on-one mentor to Ricky, but we've lived a lot of life together too. So what, like from watching Kelly and I, like our relationship, what has that kind of meant to you, or how's that changed your experience?
Well, it changed my experience. It changed my experience because like I've been with Kelly for almost 6 years. So when I first met you, it was at first I was kind of nervous. I was kind of scared. 'Cause I was like, oh man. But since we've gone through this journey so long, I can just tell that my daughter, my girlfriend, they love you a lot, and they really do look up to what you really. And so if they have any questions, anything, they come to you. You're the first person they call. And I can just say that I wouldn't change that for nothing, you know. Um, but I would say that if you wasn't there, Caitlin, if you wasn't our support group, I really wouldn't know where we would be. Like, I'm gonna keep it 100% honest. Like, I really wouldn't know where we would be, and I thank you for that.
Thank you. I mean, thank you. Like it, and again, I mean, Ricky said 6 years. Like we use the term in Young Life a lot, earn the right to be heard. It takes time, and that's okay. Like, I mean, we came from very different backgrounds. Like, there really is absolutely no reason for Kelly to trust me. I was a stranger from a different state, different neighborhood, different race, different background, different demographic. No one in her family knew. Like, there was no reason for her to say, "Sure, you can step into my life," except for, I don't know, the Lord, seriously. But like it takes time, it takes consistency, but it is worth it. And I hope that you see there is generational change happening, and that is powerful. Like I've had mentors that changed my life. Now I can mentor someone else, and Kelly and Ricky can now take their story and mentor others and raise Amaya with just differently than they were raised. And like you guys can have a seat at the table. You can do that same thing for someone else. It is generational change, and it is powerful, but it takes time and consistency and trust over years. But it's beautiful and worth it. I asked Kelly if it would be okay to share kind of a difficult experience that we all walked through together, and she said yes. And it is kind of a really emotional topic, but I think it's important to share because it's life-changing. So we walked through a kinship placement together. Amaya was placed in my home through kinship placement for about 3 months, and she's not anymore because of their hard work. And I kind of want them to share like what that experience was like, and just how we walked that journey together.
It was scary. It was really scary because not being able to really wake up and see your daughter just laying in her bed, not being able to wake up, laugh with her in the morning, eat breakfast with her in the morning, and stuff like that. That hurts. Like I was sad. I was really sad and depressed.
Mm-hmm.
So when everything was getting going, and everything was in motion, and we were doing what we were supposed to do, everything was falling back into place on what I had in my mindset thought of what I wanted to do. So with that, yeah, it was scary, it was hard, but we did manage to, mature up and do what we had to do, just on for sake of our daughter and
Yeah.
that. So I'm really proud of us.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, maybe I should. I don't know if you guys know what that means, but I'm using words because I'm a foster parent, and so I know what they mean. But a kinship placement is when a family member or a close friend, if social services has to get involved, that child can go to a close friend or family member instead of having to go into foster care. And I'm a foster parent, and the system is ruthless and it is hard and it is traumatic and it's necessary, but it's heartbreaking. And so anytime, like again, this isn't just me, like anytime there can be that support and mentor in someone's life that could literally keep a child out of the system, that is, I don't even know the right word, like that is huge. So Kelly, do you want to share a little bit about what that experience was like for you and how we walked through that together?
It was scary, and it made me depressed. Made me feel like I was. It made me feel like I wasn't a good mom. You know, family was. They knew about the situation. They coming at us like, oh, y'all not gonna get y'all daughter back. Y'all might as well just move on with y'all life. No, I'm not moving on with my life until I get my child back. You know, that situation, it pushed me to be the better mom I am today and to be a bigger person, you know.
Yeah, they deserve a round of applause. Not everybody, um, not everybody can do that. And again, I think that speaks to the power of relationship and support and mentorship because they worked so hard and we walked through that journey together and those 3 months were not easy, but because we already had a relationship, they could come and do bedtime. We could FaceTime all the time. We could choose a daycare together. We could go out to eat together. Like, we had that. And I mean, Kelly, what do you think, if I wasn't available to say yes to that placement, what could that have looked like?
I feel like if Caitlin couldn't have done it, then Amaya would have been foster care till this day. Because, you know, we still would have tried to, you know, do what we could to get our child back, but it's not even, you don't know who they're going to place your child with. You don't know if that person, oh, you can't come see your child. That's why I thank Caitlin for, you know, taking that big step and then taking in our daughter. Because, you know, if she was in foster care, like I said, you want to know who our child would have been with. So I really thank Caitlin for, you know, taking that opportunity and taking them out of the end.
And again, I mean, they worked so hard, and it really is a beautiful picture of redemption. But I just pray that you guys keep hearing the power of living life with somebody, because it can truly change generations. Maya gets to be with Kelly and Ricky every day, and that is huge. And that's something that the two of them didn't always have growing up, both of their parents in the same house. And so it's just, it's worth it to step into hard stuff with people. Just say that. Okay, we're going to talk a little bit. I'm going to ask them a few questions. Well, Kelly, specifically about just her experience with YoungLives. So, YoungLives is new in Hickory. We're just starting it. But when Amaya was about a year old, we got involved with the YoungLives organization in Winston and did some stuff with them. And Kelly and I got to go to camp together. And so I want you guys to kind of hear what that experience was like for her. So, what was it like for you to go to YoungLives Club, to camp, to travel to Winston, meet other young moms?
It was a fun experience because, you know, you're around other, you know, young ladies that was in the same predicament you was in, and then it's not like they can judge you because they did the same thing you did. And I really, you know, like going to the camp because camp is where all the moms, not just from the mom from that area, you get all the teen moms coming from, you know, Greensboro, Winston, Charlotte, like everywhere. And, you know, you can just build a bond with, you know, somebody that's been in the same boat you've been in.
So Kelly went to camp, Wildlife Camp, which is our ministry for middle school students, and she had gone to Young Lives Camp, which is the middle school for high school students, and then Young Lives Camp. So how was your experience at Young Lives Camp different than when you went to Wildlife or Young Life Camp?
Wildlife, you're not around you're not around teen moms. You're around, high schoolers, I would say, in my defense, normal kids, kids without
Not the
kids.
same experience you're
But,
going.
being around people in wildlife, it feel like you can be judged because some of them is not in the same boat as you. But at Young Lives, it's like you can connect with more people than you can in wildlife because, they're not in the same boat as you.
So that's why we have a ministry specifically for teen moms, because they can be themselves. It's hard sometimes to walk into a room with people your own age, your peers, but they are living a completely different life. They haven't experienced any of the same things in the world. You're at club, but you're thinking about bedtime and is you getting a bottle for your baby and all these things. But when you go to Young Lives Club, you can just be you, and all the other girls understand. Yeah, gotta change this diaper, and I got this, and my family, all the things. So that's why this ministry is so special, because we can specifically reach the girls and meet their needs and bring them to a place where they don't feel judged, and they can bond with other girls who've been through the same thing. So what do you think are kind of the benefits that you see to us bringing Young Lives to Hickory? Why is that an important ministry here?
It'll make the teen moms not feel like alone. Like it's like it's actually an organization willing to, support them and their child. And I just really think it's a beautiful thing because you get all these teen moms to come together and just bond, and they don't feel like they have to be judged, from their story about, being pregnant at a young age.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you think you know about Jesus now because of either our relationship or Young Lives, your experience, vintage in the church? Like, what have you learned about Jesus? Or how do you see yourself now, knowing that, like,
I see myself now, like, for me being 13 to now, I feel myself, being more brave, having more courage in me being a mom. And, I just feel different than what I was being 13. Now me being 19, I feel like anything is possible if you put your head to it. If, put your head to it, then you can do it.
Our hope is that every young mom, pregnant, parenting, and their children know that they're made in the image of God, that they are deeply loved, that God created Kelly to be brave and has a purpose for her. This moment here, like this, is such an answered prayer. You guys are in the midst of God working. Like, this is years of prayer, and it's just really cool to sit here and see them up here and just think of all the prayers that have been answered and the moments that God was at work, that we can't even see what God was doing. And here Kelly is going to share her story, so it's really cool to see God working. As we close, what would you say to people here who are like wondering if they should get involved, or gosh, is that something that I could do, or
I would say go. Go find that teen mama because you never know what she's going through with her baby. Go help that teen mama. Please go help her. Because you don't know what they be going through. Some teen moms is depressed, because they don't have nobody. People in their family may judge them. Their friends may judge them just because they have a baby. So for Young Lives to come and be a part of those teen moms' life, it mean a lot to us because, we're not judged by them.
I kept hearing you say she doesn't feel as alone. Jesus doesn't want anyone to feel alone. And you guys can be the people that help teen moms in Catawba County feel less alone. And know that there's somebody else that's walking this journey with them. So again, as we wrap up, I kind of want you guys to see, like, there's Kelly's, Ricky's, and Amaya's all over this county. And what would it look like for you to live life and come alongside and share Jesus with kids in their situation? That doesn't mean that your story's going to look like ours or like mine. There's a lot of ways to get involved. We need childcare. We need mentors. We need help making meals. We need transportation. We need financial support. We need people to come into club and teach us, like, all kinds of things that are going to come. It doesn't mean that it looks just like this. That's their unique journey and your journey. We need prayer. We need people to check in on me. We need all kinds of things. But what does it look like? Vintage is already doing it. They're already coming alongside of us. But what does it look like for you or your family to join in this mission? and just have a seat at the table. All of you can have a seat here at this table and get to experience just a beautiful relationship and journey like this. And just the heart of Young Lives is to show up consistently to share Jesus. And that's something that, because of Jesus, we all can do that. So this is who we are. This is who Young Life is just coming alongside teenagers and loving them well. We're about Jesus, we're about fun, we're about relationships, and so I just ask that you guys would really carefully consider what it looks like for you to join us. I'm going to be in the back. Kelly and Ricky will be back there. One of my coworkers and friends, Wynn, is here, who's on staff at Young Life, and we'll be in the back. We would love to talk to you, answer any questions, pray, give you some information. So I really, I'm just excited to see what God's going to do to this church and this community, how He's going to use you guys just to reach the city. So thank you. I really thank you guys for listening to them. Can we give them another round of applause? Really good. They're incredible and have really done just an amazing job. So thank you guys. Jeff and the band come up, and we'll be in the back.
And on the side note, just hand off. And on the side note, y'all AC is cold.